Hi, everybody. Okay, if you clicked on this video, you're probably interested in teaching full-time. Maybe you've got a job you want to leave. Maybe you don't have a good source of income and you need something. Maybe you love teaching and you just want to be able to make it your living, like you want to do more of it. And that's exactly what I did. And I'm going to show you exactly how you could do it, how you can make online teaching your full-time income. So if you're watching this live, because I am live right now and I'm only live on YouTube, I want you to leave me a comment. I see some viewers there, so leave me a comment and say hi so I know who's here. And if you're watching the replay, do it too, because I still want to see who's here. Okay, so welcome to my channel. My name is Jillian Shanahan. If you don't know me, I have been an online teacher since 2018. I've gone through a lot of it. So I've gone through the double reduction policy. I've gone through the everybody needs a TESOL, however you say it, the certification. I've gone through the changes in social media. Sorry, I'm just kind of waking up right now. I mean, I'm not, but I am. Like, it's kind of like I haven't had my caffeine yet, so I'm like, and I've kind of like gone through all of it. But I went to teaching full time in 2018, like it's pretty much as soon as I made the decision about it. So on this channel, we talk about earning an income teaching online. We talk about different tools you can use, different companies you can work for. And my very favorite is how to go independent, so you're not working for a company. If you're watching this and you're not already subscribed, do me a favor and hit the subscribe button and the bell notification. And that way you're not going to miss what we have coming up next year, next week in 2024. We've got some really, really cool things that we're going to be doing on this channel. So I want to make sure that you are all here. Okay, so I want to give you a quick background of my story. It's going to be like really there are some things here that I have not shared because I've always felt like it's not my story. I can't share it, but it is my story. So I'm going to share it. And it's really important to know that I had obstacles. Every teacher that comes into like teaching online, every business person that goes into like running a business, owning a business, they all have obstacles, right? And I think it's important that you know about those obstacles. Most people don't talk about them. They just talk about their successes. Or their struggles, but nobody ever really a lot of people don't put them both together. It's like, yeah, I'm a successful teacher and this is how I did it. But I had to go through this, and the third. And everybody's struggles are different. Some of you might relate to it because it's kind of an epidemic in this country, but more so in this country than anywhere else in the United States. But here's my story. So I had two daughters. They were at the time 4 and 8 years old. And I was pregnant with my third daughter. I was working as a mail carrier. So anybody that knows anybody that works as a mail carrier, please, the Christmas season just got over. Give them a big hug and tell them that you're thankful for them, because that job is really, really rough, especially during the Christmas season. And the way that working as a mail carrier works is that you have to work. And that's it. So you go into work at like maybe 6, 7 o'clock in the morning to start casing your mail. So you sort your mail out in the slots, you get your packages, you load your truck up, you go out. They overload the routes because they're trying to condense them. So they hire less people like everywhere. Right. And then you're out there from until like 9, 10, 11 o'clock at night. There were days sometimes where like all the mail didn't even get delivered because of that, or you had to like give it to somebody else because like they have people that CCAs, they're just like not regulars yet, and they're still full time, but they're like they don't have like their own route. So anyways, that was my job. I was pregnant, mind you, and my route was a walking route. So I'm imagine me like 8 months pregnant, walking 14 miles a day. Granted, I live in New York, so it's not super hot, but it does get up to 90 sometime in the summer, in August. Okay. So anyways, the job was rough to begin with, but then after I had my daughter, I was like, okay, I can't go back to that. Like, I'm nursing a baby, like an infant, and I've got 2 other kids, and I'm basically a single mom. So I was like, I can't go back to the post office. I was on food stamps. because I wasn't making enough, because I also had to pay for daycare. And I was a single mom making this income. Yes, it was a federal job. But then after I got out, like they don't even have health insurance for like, or not, they don't, no, I'm sorry, they don't even have maternity leave for the post office because it's a federal job. So now I'm like a single mom working 3 months or not working for 3 months. And I'm like stuck here. Like I needed something, I needed some form of income. And going back to the post office was not an option because there is no way I could not have my infant child with her mother for that long, from like 6 o'clock in the morning to like midnight sometimes by the time I got home. So, um, anyways, what I did was I went on Facebook. Well, I started thinking about, I'm like, what kind of job can I work that's going to allow me to be a mother and exist in my kid's life, but still provide for my children? So I was like, I started talking to all the moms. And I'm sorry if you've heard this story before. There's more here, I promise, that I haven't told. So I started talking to all the moms. So I'd go to Girl Scouts, I'd go to 4-H, I'd go to like dance, I'd go to like the cheerleading, like all the stuff that my girls were involved in. I don't know how I did it, but all the stuff that my girls were involved in, I would go and talk to the other moms in school and say, like, hey, how do you do this? Like, what do you do for work? And the moms that worked, all of them, they worked in the school, right? I'm a paraprofessional. I'm a lunch lady. I'm a bus driver. I'm a teacher. I'm a school psychologist. Like everybody worked in the school in some capacity. So I'm like, okay, I see a trend here. I need to be working in the school system. So before that, I was kind of bouncing between like being a teacher. I know I like working with people. So being a teacher, being a nurse, but I suck at math. So like the only test I've ever failed in my life was the nursing exam. Because my math is terrible. It's probably better now, but it was really bad. Teacher, nurse, or I don't know, there was something else I was debating between. So I put on Facebook, thank you, Facebook. I put on Facebook, hey, I am thinking about doing this or this. Like, which of these jobs do you think suits me best? People gave their opinions. And then I went to school and I enrolled in my master's program for teaching elementary education. And I put on there like, hey, everybody, I just made a decision. I'm going back to school for my master's in education. And somebody commented on it and said, hey, why don't you do this? And at the time it was VIP Kid. And I was like, okay, I'll try it. But like, honestly, that was back in the day where everybody was in MLM and everybody was like, I mean, I tried like MLM. I had tried MLM. I had tried transcription jobs. I'd tried some of those jobs and like they either weren't worth the effort or like they just paid you pennies and it was like not fun, like just boring work that didn't like engage your brain. So I didn't expect to make a lot. We're wrestling upstairs. I don't know if you can hear that. I'm gonna have to pause this really quick. Give me 1 second. Okay, I'm gonna apologize. I'm gonna apologize for that. Something when you have 6 kids in the house, sometimes you go a little nuts. So I'm sorry about that. Oh my goodness. Okay. So, um, Anyways, where was I at here? I started teaching for VIP Kid. I didn't expect anything. Um, I was like, oh, this is an app. I wonder if there are different apps. So I went out and I found different companies to work for. And then I was like, okay, okay, I like this. I'm making a little bit of money off of it, but I see other teachers that are out there that are making a lot of money off of it. So, what can I do to be able to make this work? And I tell you, I put some things in place and I did some things, and that enabled me to make some crazy changes. So, I made it my mission. I learned everything I possibly could and implemented as much as I possibly could. I started teaching. Here's the timeline here. I started teaching in December of 2018. December 24th of 2019, I looked at a house. So Christmas Eve, December 26th, I put a bid in the house because I couldn't do it on Christmas. I had to wait. January 1st, of 2020, I had my inspection done. February 28th, 2020, I closed on my house and got the keys to my house. In between that, I got myself and my husband out of debt. So I bought a new car, got myself out of debt, and my husband, my ex-husband, and I bought a house as a single mom. And so this is the part that I haven't told anybody about, except for like those that are really close to me and like know me, and we have these conversations. But I know a lot of people are probably like, wait, you said single mom, now you're saying husband. So I usually just say single mom because it's easier to explain, but it is an important part of the story because it gave me a lot of obstacles. So I was married at the time and I did support him. We were together as a couple, but he was kind of never there. And he didn't contribute anything except for debt to the household. So he was in active addiction. And I sympathize with that. And I tried and I tried and I tried and I tried to do everything. So, I mean, I remember one time, oh, am I allowed to say this stuff? I don't know. Okay. I remember one time I had paid off all of the credit card debt. And then he went out and he didn't have money. He worked, but he didn't have money because he had spent it all. And he needed to get some of those fun things that they do, right? And he didn't have money. So he bought his dealer, he rented his dealer a car off of his credit card in exchange. So, like, when I say that I was a single mom, like, no, I really wasn't. Financially, I was, but I also had like a whole other person that was giving me more obstacles um, to be able to do this. So we separated as soon as I bought the house. It was like, you know what? Because you can't kick somebody out of the house, even if they're having issues like that. You can't legally have them leave your house. So as soon as I bought the house, I'm like, this is a new start. This is a fresh start. And goodbye. So we separated as soon as I bought the house. And then in which I think really like me not enabling him anymore really forced him. He was like, okay, I'm going to rehab. So then I get a call from the rehab saying we need somebody to pay for this. It was some bougie rehab in California in July of 2020. And I paid for this rehab, this bougie rehab in July of 2020. So you guys, I want you to just like think about this really quick though. Like I was a single mom, one income, three daughters, one was an infant. I was paying all the bills, but I still was able to buy a house, buy a car, get out of debt, pay for somebody's rehab. So that's something that I would have never been able to do working for a federal job. So now I've never told that part of the story. This video might get deleted. Okay. So what I want to tell you here right now is how you can get to that point where you could do that. The first thing you need to do is you need to have the mentality that you're not going to fail. Okay? There is no such thing as failure. The only true failure is giving up and being like, I'm not doing that. That's the only failure. You can fail to succeed by quitting. You can fail to move forward by not learning anything and not doing anything, by doing the same thing over and over. But if you try something and you fail, all that is that's teaching you how not to do it, right? So there is no real failure except for not doing it. So you need to take that, have that mentality. Like, I'm not going to fail because I'm not going to let myself fail. I'm not going to fail because failure is not an option. I need this. Really understand. Now, I had a really, really, really strong motivator for wanting to get out of debt. I needed to provide stability for my children. I needed to be able to own a home because I kept getting in situations where I would rent from somebody and then they ended up being like a terrible landlord. The last landlord that I had when I bought this house, he was like some 80-year-old man that just like didn't respect women, would always come and harass me, would walk into my house because he had a key and he owned it. And he like, told me one time, like, I don't care about tenants' rights. Like, I couldn't deal with that. I had a really strong motivator. So I want you to really, really think about it. Like, what is it? What is it exactly that you are looking for? Why do you want to get there? And what is it going to change in your life? And really feel it. If you have a strong motivator, you will be successful because you're not going to let yourself fail. So when I talk to people and I ask them, like, why do you want this? And like, if I can feel that they've got a passion to make change, they're going to be successful. That's the driving force. So you need to be able to make sure that you know exactly why you want to be teaching online full time. Not just like, I want to quit my job. Why do you want to quit your job? Like for me, okay, first of all, working was not putting food on the table because I had to pay for daycare, and daycare is like $1,300 a month for one kid, and I had three. Okay. And I wasn't making that much to begin with. Second of all, I needed to quit my job because I needed to be with my children because I was working so much that like I was working just to stay away from my kids and go in debt. And third of all, I needed to be able to quit my job so that like, you see what I'm saying? You see what I'm getting at? Like, I needed to be able to do these things. I needed to be able to buy a home. I needed to be able to get out of debt. I needed to be able to be independent without having to rely on a guy to take care of me because my entire life I've been stuck there, okay? So that's the first thing you need to do. So if you're brave enough and you want to, you can leave me a comment and let me know what your why is, what your reason is. Okay. The second thing is you need to make a plan. And the first thing that I do when recommending to make a plan is I want you to set some business hours. So these are the hours that you're going to work no matter what. Okay. I don't care. I don't care if you have students. You're going to set those hours. My hours for teaching online are going to be this to this. And during those hours, when I don't have students, I'm going to do something. So maybe during those hours, uh you learn something. Okay, you take a class on marketing, or you watch YouTube videos, or you read a personal development book, or you make content for social media so you can attract new students, or you make an intro video for a company, depending on like how you're going with this, if you're going to be company or independent. You're doing something. Maybe you're working on Cambly during those hours, right? So it's like, okay, I don't have any students, so bloop, let's go on and see if a student calls me. So do something during your hours of operation. You cannot move forward if you're not doing anything to move forward. Okay. You got to put gas in the car. All right. Um, and the next thing is you need to figure out what you need to learn. So, what is it that I need to know to move forward to the next step? I want to go independent. So think about it. I want to go independent. In order to go independent, I have to get my own students. How am I going to find my students? Okay. If you already know, do you know how to do that? If you don't know, that's your first step. Find out what you need to do to get students. Um, Whatever it is that's holding you back from getting to the next step, that's what you need to focus on learning. And that's what you're going to fill your hours of work with. You need to do this. You need to make it a point that you are going to learn, and that there's somebody out there that's doing it right now. There's somebody out there that's doing it well. There are many people, no matter what you want to do, there's somebody out there that's doing it already. And there's somebody out there that's doing it well. Find that person and learn from them, because you can take years and years and years and years to learn something that they could teach you in a month. Okay. So, on that note, I do want to let you know that we have a free, it's a reverse goal planning. So when I say reverse goal planning, that's exactly what we're going to be doing. We're going to be figuring out together on a call. It's live. There is a replay and there is a workbook for it too. But we're going to be figuring out on January 2nd, we're going to be working together and doing reverse goal planning. Link is in the description box. And what we'll do is we'll take, okay, this is my goal. This is where I am. This is where I want to be. And we're going to create a roadmap, exactly how to get there. So you're going to have exact directions on what you need to do through this year to reach your goal that you want to be at this time next year. Isn't that exciting? We did something like this last year. This one is better. So if you went to last year's, this one is better. And this one is free. Last year's was paid. So I do hope that everybody that's watching this takes the opportunity to jump into our reverse goal planning workshop. It's going to be so much fun. But that's what you need to do. We're going to figure out exactly like what you have to do to reach your goals. And then the next thing is just like, you're never, ever, ever going to give up, and you're going to keep trying new things until you find something that works. So if you are like, and you're going to pay attention to what does work and really focus on that. Like if something's already working, don't change that. Like if you're getting a lot of students from, say, Instagram, then don't be like, oh, I need to go over here and forget about Instagram. Like, don't change what's working. And if you need to have a plan, a person is a person or a plan. A person is what works for me. That's kind of set as like your accountability partner. So make some friends in the online teaching world that understand you. Generally speaking, real life friends and family don't understand this kind of thing, and they might not have the support as like the same support as other online teachers do. There's this really weird phenomenon. I was listening to Tony Robbins the other day about it, where he was talking about how online teachers, or not online teachers, how business people, when they go into business, the people that support them the most are strangers. Family members tend to be like, oh, you can't do that. You can't do that. Like they want you to like be safe. But I mean, it is a risk when you're going into business, but you need to be able to understand that risk and be willing to take it if you want to be at the level that you want to be at. Does that make sense? So surround yourself with people that understand and support you, and find an accountability partner. Make a friend that you can talk to. I have a couple of them. I have an accountability partner. They don't know they're my accountability. They don't know they're my accountability partners, but when they hear this, they're going to be like, she's talking about me. I have an online teacher that is a friend that very, very close friend of mine. And whenever I have like emotional issues or like family issues, or like I'm going through something like I was with my ex, she's the one that keeps my head on straight, right? And I have another accountability partner that I will bounce ideas off of. That's Katie Prescott. I'm just kidding. No, I have another accountability partner that when I'm like, okay, like, let's try this. Like we get each other excited about business, and then, we lift each other up and it works mutually. It's a really, really, really good fit. So you want somebody that's going to give back what you put in, and you want another teacher that can be that for you. It's really, really helpful for me personally to talk things out with somebody, because sometimes I realize things that like I should have known, but I don't think of, because I'm too wrapped in my head thinking of one thing. And then, I'll talk to like Katie about it, and she'll be like, well, have you ever done this? Oh, wait a second, I had that planned. Or, like oh, that's a good idea, so we'll bounce ideas off of each other a lot of times. And it just really helps like spark that fuel, lights things up. It gets you excited instead of just being like in your head all the time. So find another teacher that could be your accountability partner. And maybe I'll post something in our Facebook group or success group saying like, is there anybody here that needs an accountability partner? And like, you guys can like find each other. The Facebook group is in the description box too. But it's really, 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 really important to not give up, have support from somewhere, and learn things that can help you grow. Those are going to be the things that are going to help you the most. You're not, I don't want to say that you're not going to be successful, but you're not going to be successful. Like you're not, if you give up, you failed. If you don't do anything new, you're not going to get new results. So that's kind of where I stand there. It's just really important. And I saw that Dan said hi. So hi, Dan. You guys are super quiet today. I'm like pouring my heart out to you, telling you things I've never done before. And everybody's just like, this girl's a mess. All right. Well, you guys are really quiet. I will see you guys all later. I will put up a video here for the replay. So if anybody watching the replay can go see this video over here next. And don't forget to join the reverse goal planning workshop. It's on January 2nd. It's free. It's live. There is a replay. Link is in the description box. I want to see like thousands of people in there. I'm going to be honest. Like you guys should all be in there because it's something that I do every single time that I want to be successful. I'm going to end this and I'll see you guys all later. And I'm sorry about the interruption with the kids. I'm going to go up there and make sure they're all right. They were when I checked. All right. Bye, guys.